Hi, and welcome to Diamonds and Rust. I'm your host, The Stray Cat. Anyone who grew up in the 80s is no stranger to slasher films. They were everywhere. And for the most part, they all had one thing in common. They were poorly written, poorly directed, and poorly acted. Some stand out as being particularly bad, one of them being Slaughter High.
Originally titled April Fool's Day, the title was changed to Slaughter High to avoid confusion with another film released in 1986 called April Fool's Day. And you're not going to upstage any film where the Valley Girl literally scares the shit out of Biff Tannen. The film begins at Doddsville County High School, which looks suspiciously like an English prep school. We start the credits rolling to an awful soundtrack scored by Harry Manfredini of all people. For those of you that don't know, this is the same man that brought us the famous Friday the 13th theme. Here we see one of the most stereotypical nerds in film history being seduced by what looks like a fashion model in her late 20s. But, to no surprise to anyone but him, it turns out to be all part of an April Fool's Day joke.
Clearly, this prank wasn't cruel enough, as they felt they needed to electrocute him just before they gave him a swirly.
So, as punishment, they all have some kind of a gym class detention where the coach introduces the rest of the stereotypes to us. We have the tough guy rebel, the class clown, the prom queen, the dumb jock, the slut, and of course the stoners. The stoners give Marty a joint laced with who knows what. While he's in the bathroom throwing up, the class clown tampers with Marty's experiment and causes a fire in the lab. In the midst of all this, a jug of nitric acid falls off the shelf, shatters, and splashes Marty in the face. The prom queen wakes up from a nightmare about starring in Slaughter High. Apparently this is 10 years later and she's now a moderately successful low-budget film actress. What a stretch for talent.
The guy's weird, the story's weird, and
what?
And you're weird.
The class clown we see is now joined up with Herbie the Love Bug and picks up another classmate on her way to the reunion. They break down, but the jock and the slut pull up in the quietest truck ever made and give them a tow. Either this school has the most narrow driveway I've ever seen in my life, or they're just driving on the sidewalk. Once they're all inside, we get jump scare number 250 and a cameo by the Friday the 13th theme. They're accommodated with booze and food, and none of them find this so-called reunion of a dozen, the same dozen that pulled the prank on Marty, to be a coincidence. As expected, one by one they start getting killed off. First is the caretaker, who did nothing to Marty, other than alert the coach when he saw what was happening. And we see that in the tradition of all slasher films, the want for revenge and disfigurement also means superhuman strength. Next is stoner number 1, who drinks a poisonous beer that causes his intestines to rupture, because, yeah, I'm sure that's how it happens. Stoner number 2 tries to get away, but Marty was waiting for him in the back seat and stabs him. I guess along with superhuman strength comes psychic ability. Next, one of the members of the group decides to take a bath where acid is pumped through the pipes and boils her alive. Now, I don't know what's more ridiculous, the idea of a school with a bathtub or that somehow Marty tapped into the water system. Ah well. Next, they find a riding lawnmower and decide to use it to break the doors down and escape.
Okay, I'm all for the suspension of disbelief, especially in these kind of films. You really have to be. But are you fucking kidding me?
The dumb jock tries to get it running, but is trapped underneath and killed by the blade.
Well, on the plus side, at least he got it running.
Then, because this school has no logic, the rebel and the slut find a bed to have sex in, but get electrocuted to death. With only 3 left, they decide that all they have to do is survive until noon, and April Fool's Day will be over. But since Marty will still be disfigured, I don't know why he would give a shit what time it is. The class clown is hanged in the gym, but the rope doesn't hold and he falls to the floor. One of the 2 remaining girls is startled by seeing that she's the next one to die, and runs outside, making her only the second one to be able to escape in a matter of seconds tonight. She falls into a pit of, I don't know, mud or shit or something, and when she's almost out, Marty pushes her back in, and I guess that killed her because we never see her again. Down to the last survivor, Marty chases the prom queen through the halls in a very drawn-out scene. She finds a hatchet to defend herself, but kills the class clown by mistake. I guess it's a good thing the plot kept him alive, huh? He finally catches up to her and kills her in the shower. Immediately, he's haunted by the ghosts of his victims, except the caretaker, because, I don't know, I guess the movie forgot about him. Then he wakes up in the hospital to find out that the whole thing was just a dream.
What a crock of shit.
In the final shot of the movie, he kills the doctor for whatever reason, then looks at the camera while tearing his face apart.
What? And I thought the ending to Phantasm made no sense. Well, that was Slaughter High. Is it a diamond or is it rust? Well, critically, it's definitely rust. But as someone who enjoys cheap thrills, I think I'm going to give it a diamond. What do you think? Well, until next time, I'm the Stray Cat, and this was Diamonds and Rust.